So as I said, everyone, this is a very short call tonight, and it's really to explain this coming weekend, what the events are. So I think it's important because I think some people don't actually realise exactly what they are. The events on the Friday night and then the events on the Saturday are very, very different, and you really need to know. We'll then just get into talking about how to build for events and some of the things that you need to do. So basically this weekend, I'm going to just skip Friday for a minute, and I'm going to go to Saturday. So you've got a Saturday morning event at Bronnie's house at 10 o'clock till noon, I think it is. And that you just have to RSVP to her. You don't have to go on Eventbrite. There's no charge, but if anyone wanted to bring a plate, I'm sure that would be welcomed. What that actually is, for those of you who've been to Tamara's thing on a Thursday night, or to any of us when we've had things at the Windsor or someone's house, it's an Own Your Own Life event. And that afternoon at Solstice Cafe, it'll be exactly the same as well. But the big surprise is, the big plus is that we've got Peter and Louise there, CEOs of the company, and David from Juice Plus. So it's going to be a little bit extra clout. So I imagine that they'll do a short 5-minute address. The night before they will have done something, but this is really an Own Your Own Life. So whoever is running it will basically get there and talk about what don't you like about life, what do you want more of in life. They'll talk about traditional business and our business and the difference to it. They then do something like the popcorn effect. I actually haven't had this discussion with anyone, but it is an Own Your Own Life. So that's how we do it. And I think it's great that pretty much all over Australia, everyone's doing them the same, so that it's all a basic training. So the popcorn effect, and then we'll talk about the fact that for your $165, what you get, and then you get your, and then talk about retail profit and commissions and bonuses. So it will be a business prospect event. So the best thing you can do is someone you've been really pursuing and you would like to have come to a Thursday night, but you can't get them there, get them either to a Saturday morning one at Bronnie's or Solstice Cafe in the afternoon. So does everyone understand the Saturday events? Okay. Has anyone started building yet for those two events or either of them? But you're definitely going to, aren't you, if you haven't already? Because that's what our business is all about, guys. You know, and I'm going to show you what I've done today to prepare myself to start building properly. But let me explain the Friday night, because I actually had difficulty getting around this myself. When Tamara first mooted the idea of Peter and Louise coming over, I thought, well, that's really good for belief and all that, but why would you have a great big room at a pub? But it's not just for them to address us. It's not for that at all. It's actually a sort of non-Juice Plus networking event. So you would be inviting people who maybe got other businesses who would like to come along and speak to other people and virtually advertise their business. So, but also there'll be addresses from Peter and Louise, or at least Peter, and from David from Nutrition Plus, talking about conscious capitalism, how we can all do really well in business, but it's really nice to give back. So if you've got heart-driven people who you're trying to get into the business, that would be a great thing. But even if you didn't want them in your business, what you're doing is a little bit like we do on our social media pages. You're adding value with nothing in return at this stage. But I can guarantee you probably will get something in return, because the people you invite there will be touched by what we do for the little Indigenous kiddies. So does everyone understand Friday night? It's an excuse to come along for a drink and to hear from some inspiring people. And I'm not sure who's going to be speaking, but there'll be people, could be Natalie Baldock and a few others like that, who have done really well, people who are rising in the business. So it'll be well worth coming, and you know yourselves that you've only got to go to something like that and you come away inspired and hyped and pretty determined to do even better. So that's our events for next weekend. So what did I do today to try and think? Because I actually thought to myself, I thought, hell's bells, it's Monday and I really haven't done anything. And I was sort of thinking about the smoothie demo that Michelle Owen is doing for us. And I thought, really need to focus on this weekend first, because let me tell you, in my 18 years, there's nothing better. Sorry, I rephrase that. There's nothing worse than going to an excellent event and one, you don't have any guests there, but two, you know you didn't try hard enough to get those guests there. You know, it's a little bit like customer care. If you have done excellent customer care and you get a cancellation, you're not going to beat yourself up. But if you're standing there swatting around having a drink and you know you haven't done your best and it's fantastic, even you're inspired, and you sort of just imagine what prospect X, Y, and Z would be feeling, you know yourself, if you weren't in Juice Plus, if you heard the sort of things you will hear on Friday night, that you would want to join us. So what I did today is I got a fresh piece of paper, and I've been doing a lot of follow-up lately and a lot of really trying to build for Thursday night at Tamara's. I haven't had a lot of luck. I've had a lot of people pull out the last minute but keep saying that they are going to come, but that tonight wasn't the right night. So there are a few people I've looked at my grid and think, you know what, I'm over, or I haven't heard back from the last few times I've invited someone. Only a few of them I've crossed off, because until I get a firm no, I don't cross them off my grid. So what I did today, I started at this latest month grid and I went right back. And I looked at people and I put, like, for example, there's a girl who I've had to a couple of Own Your Own Lives and all this, that, and the other. She's newly separated. I think she's probably looking for a bit of fun. So I wrote down this girl's name and Friday only. She's already been to a couple of Own Your Own Lives. So I thought I'll mention it. She's probably possibly got kids sport, all sorts of things. But I thought, good excuse for someone who's on their own to come out for a glass of wine. So I put this person's name and Friday only, even though I am judging, so I can mention it. And I've also made a decision with all these people, particularly the ones I've got their phone number. I'm not SMSing them. I'm not sending them a PM. I'm ringing them. And sometimes it's a little bit you're off the hook if it goes to Message Bank. But you can leave a really nice chatty message on Message Bank, and it's almost hiding a little bit. You're still in your comfort zone a little bit, because you're not having to talk to someone and think on your feet. It's just the message comes. And you'll find that mostly these days you can get a bit of a spiel happening, but you must be excited in your message or when you're speaking to those people. So really looking forward to Friday night. The CEO and his wife of the company are coming over. It's not actually a Juice Plus event. We're just putting value back to the community, because the community's been so good to us. And we've got a drinks evening. It's totally free. You buy your own drinks. There's a cash bar. There'll be some really inspiring people talking. I thought you might enjoy a night out. I'll be going, but in particular, it's for you to advertise even your own business. So you can talk to people from all different walks of life and tell them about what you do and maybe hand some cards out. Would you like to come? So that's easy enough to do on a message, isn't it? Now, you could do an SMS and you could do a PM. I'm not saying not to do that, but I want to share with you something that Danny Martin taught me many years ago, and some of you might have heard this story. I'd been to a US conference, and some of you might know Judy Pickett, an older lady, older than me, in Juice Plus from Melbourne. And we went off to the US conference and shared a room and did Disneyland and did all the fun things that you do when you go to a US conference. And Danny invited us, or we were going down to New Orleans to sightsee for 2 or 3 nights. And Danny lives in Baton Rouge, which is just south of Memphis, where this particular conference was. So we were doing a very short flight down to New Orleans. Danny offered to drive down for the day and to give us a sightseeing tour. It was amazing. We went to the big graveyard where the movie Double Jeopardy was shot, and there were just so many things we saw, and we had great big cocktails about this big. Anyway, that's another story for another time. But we were standing on what they call a trolley bus, a tram, going down this beautiful tree-lined street. And I was saying, Danny, recently, because you imagine in the days then, we still did a lot of faxes, we still did a lot of mail-outs, and I said, I posted 100 invitations to an event recently and I didn't get a single person there. And he said, well, you won't do it again, will you? And waste all that money and effort. I said, what do you mean? He said that is not the way to an invite to an event. And something he taught me has really stuck with me. There's a couple of things, because there's another tip as well. Just while I remember, if you've got something like a smoothie party or a demo or something, or kombucha party or something like that, someone you really, really want to get there, at the last minute or on the day you ring and just say, we're having trouble with our blender or whatever it is, would you be able to bring yours? I'm lost without a blender. Something like that, or your NutriBullet or whatever. So they know they're relied on, so they'll get there. But back to this, what Danny told us. So imagine you wanted someone to come on Friday night. We've got the flyer that's been provided for us. So I would ring Mel Kosh and I'd say, hi Melzy, haven't seen you for ages. I know your business is doing well, but I'm sure you could do with more business. We're having an adding value to the community networking event on Friday night. It's at a pub. We've got a private room. It costs nothing except you might want to buy a drink. In fact, I'll buy you one. Thought you might like to come along. So I've actually asked Mel if she'd like to come along, or I've left a message on her message bank. I haven't messaged her or PM'd her. And then if Mel says, hey, I'd love that, I then say, great, I will send you the flyer as your ticket and I'll meet you, ask for me at the door. So they think that the flyer is their ticket, but it hasn't cost anything, correct? So you ask with your mouth, you invite with your mouth. It's never, ever, ever going to change that that's the best thing. Face to face, belly to belly. And then you send the flyer as their invitation or ticket. And I would use the word ticket and say, please ask for me at the door. Okay? So that was, sorry, I've got all croaky. That was the big tip from Danny. And I never, ever did a big mail out like that again. But I could ring only 10 people and 2 or 3 people might say yes, and I would send them the flyer. Even in the old days, I'd post it as their ticket. But still, that's what we did. These days, you could either email it or take a photo of it, whatever you want to do. Okay, so we've explained what those events are this weekend, and we've talked about inviting people. What I might do, this is throwing you on the spot a little bit, but I'm wondering, those of you who've had events, I know Mel has, I know Tanya has, and I know Nicole has done one. I wonder if I could ask you to unmute and rack your brain and think if you've got anything to share with the group about how you go about inviting and building for events. Oh, before you do that, let me just finish. So today I went right through that grid and all that, and so far, tomorrow I've got one person I'm ringing to invite for Saturday, someone for the Friday, someone for both events, someone, and most people for both, and one person, an optometrist, for the Friday, because I'm pretty sure he's working on the Saturday. But then again, why am I pretty sure? I'm judging. He might have a Saturday off. So I've got my list ready to go tomorrow, because tomorrow I've designated, I've scheduled to build for it. So I will also ask people as I go along during the week, but these are the ones that, at least if I make those, there's about 10 phone calls there to make. There's quite a few people who want to come to a Thursday one and haven't made it yet. Well, how nice for them to come to a morning tea or an afternoon tea on Saturday. So, Tanya, could I ask you, lovey, I'm just going to unmute you. As you know, you're amongst friends here. Have you got anything you can share how you went? Because you've had some fabulous demos and get-together parties. Can you explain just very quickly what events they were and how you invite?
I do it, I do my little flyer and then I do a little Facebook sponsored post, but to be honest, I don't get a lot of interest of that. So I've stopped doing that and just basically ring people to see who I think would fit in well with whatever the theme is for the event, and see if they've got any friends. Yeah. I also have asked family to host events for me as well. Sorry, my voice is a bit low today.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Don't know what's going on. Yeah, so just asking them to host and just getting out to a wider audience. But for me, I'm finding that social media is not working for me, and definitely picking up the phone and speaking to somebody.
It's better. And even someone you might meet at playgroup or at the shop or something, just say, look, I know this is out of left field, but, you know, you might have met someone who's an interior designer, for say. I know this is out of left field, but my company's doing a networking event on Friday night. Would you enjoy to come and have a glass of wine with me? We could get to know each other better. So there was a gold nugget in what Tanya said then. She said that she asks if they know anyone else who would like to come to the event. I usually, and sorry, I forgot to say that, I will usually say everyone's welcome. Most people feel more comfortable if they come with a friend. Feel free, but then I put a better value on it. I say, if it's more than one person and you're very welcome to invite more than one, can you just let me know for numbers? That would be awesome. So that was a gold nugget from Tanya. Thank you for that, Dale. That was really, really good. Excellent. And what about you, Mel? Just unmuted you. You got anything to add there? You just had that kombucha thing. And guys, don't give up on social media, because Tanya's experience is a little bit like mine was when I spoke to Danny Martin all those years ago, and I'm talking probably about 15 years ago, that I sent out 100 envelopes, paid for the stamp, and got nothing from it. So it's a little bit like, you know, it's just you're speaking to strangers mostly. And the thing is, I don't know about you, but we're all busy. Like tonight, I've invited quite a few people to the smoothie party. I was so shocked. I've already got I've got lots of response. Can't goes, but I've got one person coming. So don't give up on the social media, but don't rely on it. Face to face, belly to belly. And that expression I got from Jay Martin, the owner of the company. It's his expression. The best way to do this business 20 years ago and today is face to face, belly to belly. There are a lot of people having a lot of success on social media, but sometimes that success can be actually short-lived because it's all a bit of hype and stuff, and then it fizzles. Don't give up on anything, but just do face-to-face, belly-to-belly first. Over to you, Mel. Have you got anything you'd like to add?
Well, I do use social media. So I usually create an event on Facebook and I invite every single one of my friends. So that's 500 and something people, and quite a lot of people say no initially, and that's fine. But I found that I was inviting selected people and they'd either been to an event before or weren't interested or whatever. And when I was inviting my whole list, I found that some people who I didn't think would be interested actually were. So yeah, don't judge, because you just don't know who might be interested or not.
Another gold nugget.
Yeah, and when people say that they're either interested or going, it will show up on their news feed, so then their friends or family or whoever's on their feed can also see it. So I've also had friends of friends say they want to come to events as well. So I suppose that's...
So don't forget the friend bit, guys, in your verbiage. Don't forget, feel free to invite a friend or friends, but if it's more than one, please let me know numbers. Everyone's welcome.
Yeah, and then obviously a lot of people see the event and then don't on social media and then forget about it or whatever. So I try and post every couple of days in the lead up to the event, so then it comes up in people's news feeds. And I just add information. So like the kombucha workshop and stuff, Michelle and I were saying things like, you know, the benefits of kombucha, the jars I can buy, you know, the tea and sugar we use, that sort of stuff. So just adding value so people get a bit of insight into what the event's going to be about. And then I also either text or call, depending on, like, you usually know if your friends prefer text or phone call message. Phone calls over messages. So yeah, depending on the situation of the person, that's what I'll do. And yeah, that's really it. Social media is working for me at the moment for events. But if I was going to go to Tamara's or something, then I'd obviously call someone over, asking them over social media.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So Tanya, what you're saying, when you do social media, it's not wrong, but it's not working for you at the moment. So, you just keep trying and see what works. I was just thinking too, and you social media gurus can let me know. I'm pretty sure that Natalie, when she did the workshop here, that just say you did a post about this free networking thing and, would you like to advertise your business? We're very into giving back to the community. I believe that if you boost a post, it goes to all your friends, and then it goes to all your friends' friends if you boost a post. Is that correct? Have I got that right?
It depends on the settings you put the post as. You can choose it to choose your friends or people that aren't your friends. You can choose
Right.
different targets. Yeah.
I've done the targets and things, but I'm never sure what it does because I actually have spent quite a bit of money on boosting, and so far from my page, I've got one new franchisee, which is lovely. It's fantastic. I'm grateful, but I've sort of gone right back to just talking to people, real human beings. Thanks for that,
Yeah,
Mel.
it is
Fantastic. Was there
expensive.
anything else you had?
No.
No. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Nicole. Hi there, darling. How do you do things or anything different?
We've got a smoothie bowl coming up on the 31st, and we've created an event on Facebook. I've linked that. I've got sort of 3 Facebook pages running, which is my personal one, the Joy Pure, and the Active Beauty Life, which is my kind of Joy Pure one. So we've posted it on that. I've also tapped into existing clients. So with my e-news, the smoothie bowl will go out to all those recipients tomorrow and last week, so weekly. I've also just personally invite people. So, I've had a few responses that are going to come. I always say, please bring a friend so we can kind of share and I've offered $100 door prize for Joy, 100. So try to entice them with a $100 door prize.
Can I come?
Huh?
Can I come?
Yeah. There's lots I can do. I can give away free Omniluxes. It's not a big deal. So I can use enticements at very little cost to myself, and that's what we're doing. So we'll see. The smoothie bowl's a first off. So Xavier is welcome to bring some. Hopefully she'll bring some people. Elizabeth also. Emma, anybody in her team. And we'll just get them in with the free door prize and see what happens. But
it's really great to do that for your team.
Social media is a big thing. Social media is a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, there's
and people.
Okay. There's one thing that I haven't mentioned, and it's possibly a little bit of old hat, and I think it's something I just thought of myself. Like, for example, I've got quite a decent sized customer base. Do you realize you can go onto your virtual office, make sure all your new customers are imported, because they don't automatically go in your address book unless you actually ask them to. And this is probably another topic for another time, but import all your people. So you can send a mass email or a mass invitation. This is Hillary from Juice Plus. Our company prides itself on giving back to the community. In fact, we've got our own charity for little Indigenous children. And we're having an evening to help other people market their business. Thought you might like to come along, have a glass of wine and some free advertising. So you can do a mass email on Virtual Office, go to all your customers, and then and if you'd like to bring anyone along, everyone's welcome again. But if it's more than one person, could you please let me know numbers? Would love to finally meet you or whatever if you don't know them. Would love to see you there. So that's something. Does everyone know how to do a mass email on Virtual Office? Okay. You basically, you know what I might do? I might do a Voxer message on this. I'll just go in and check myself and do the steps, and then I'll do a Voxer message because that's powerful. That's another thing you probably haven't thought of. Although some of you have got customer pages, you could put it there. It's the same as, I don't do it these days, but I could import all franchisees, so make sure all the new ones, and an email would come to their email inbox just saying who I am and and we've got this big team and we're called Team Angels and whatever. Virtual office is really, really underused. So I think maybe one team call will do that as well. I'm just going to wind this up. Are there any questions at the moment before I stop the recording? I just thought there might be some questions. Any questions? No? All right. Well, thanks for being on. I'm going to stop the recording. Then I'm going to open up something else I'd like to ask you. Oops. Nearly ended the meeting instead of the recording.